As a 12-year-old boy, I knew that something really big was going on. I had been known to say that having witnessed the revolution in Budapest, that I had grown up too quickly, too fast. But in fact, that's not the case. What really happened was that I lost my innocence. And what I saw was what man is capable of doing to another man, and it's pretty bad, and it marked me. My name is Edgar Haris. I am 68 years old. I was born and raised in Hungary. At age 12, my family and I escaped after the Hungarian Revolution. I've been in this country ever since. 1956 was the year. I came here in 1957. Welcome to my studio. We're going to walk in and take a look around. It's a place where I spend a lot of time. It's a place that I dearly love, and I make things. That's what I do. In order to soothe my soul, amongst other things, I built a piece that was a kind of a reproduction of a memorial that I saw on a day that there was a ceasefire during the fighting, and it was a memorial for all the people who had died during the uprising. And so many years later, I built this piece. It took me a long time, maybe a span of 10 years, not because I worked on it every day, but just because. And it was very painful at times, but also kind of you might call a psychic, spiritual shower, if you will. Not calling it too much. But anyway, I finished the piece and I've shown it a number of times, and then it became an issue as to what to do with it. And after looking around and exploring some possibilities, it occurred to me that a fitting end might be to burn it. And the bottom line is to do creative work. Because when I do creative work, it feeds me. I get feedback from it. It nurtures me. It gets me off. It tickles me. I ride it like you would ride a wave on a surfboard. I think about it, and it glows within me. And it just goes on and on and on. I don't get that from a lot of things. I get it for a few things, but not a lot. But creative work. I believe November 1st, there was a call for a ceasefire, and I was able to get out of my house for the first time in a week and wander around my neighborhood. And I went past a big apartment building that had a doorway that was all wreathed in black, and there were photographs of people who had been killed, and the Hungarian flag and flowers, and there was a shrine, a memorial. And I didn't really give it a whole lot of thought. I acknowledged it, but I sort of put it in the back of my mind. There was some pretty bad stuff going on in Hungary that the Russians were doing, the communists were doing. They had discovered 5-story underground torture chambers in downtown Budapest, and stuff like that. It was very nice. There was a constant fear of being arrested and being hauled away. I mean, that was, I mean, I don't know if they would do that without reason, but you didn't want to give them the reason because you disappear. Yeah, again, I did see the flags because it was, I think it became the symbol of what was going on. I did see a young Russian soldier stripped down to his shorts in the middle of a street, in the midst of some of the most incredible destruction I've ever seen. I don't know. When we left, we got on the train, and the area before the train station was all barricades. It was like streetcars piled on top of streetcars. And it's like it was hard to comprehend how you do that. I mean, it was pretty crazy. All the cobblestones are torn up, and the railroad streetcar tracks torn up, and all the buildings are shot full of holes. It's pretty bad. Once I finished it, and I didn't say, but I shed a few tears making that piece. It's just really powerful. And so I've been known to say that doing pieces around that period in my life were kind of a part of my salvation, if you will. So I've stored it, I've dragged it out of storage, and it's getting dirty and all this, and then I thought, burning? Burning sounds great. So I think that's what we're going to do, is send it up in smoke, and people can look at the little video probably more than they would see. It would be seen more than by people in some little Hungarian museum. So I think it's a fitting end. It's a grand finale. So. And I didn't want to drill the holes. I want it to be real bullets. So it took years to, and I finally found somebody. And so we shot it full of holes. It was not as momentous for me as I thought it might have been. And I was just shooting a bunch of rounds for these two people who were helping me. This experience, unfortunately, had left me with a lot of hatred for a number of things, and it took me years to kind of soften my heart and get around all that. And I'd say I'd hate the Russians, and well, this and that, and well, actually, I was going to say hate my father, hate this and hate that, but as we all know, hate is not such a good thing. A couple years ago, I said to a friend of mine that I was done with 56, and he looked at me and he said, "That's great. Well, do you think 56 is done with you?" I think war is not a good thing. In general, I think it's for a few who benefit and the rest suffer. One is that this is not all there is, and I usually mean that in referring to this country. I think this is a great country, but I also think it's crazy. I think it's out of control, and I think that the mainstream just makes me want to scream and pull my hair and run backwards as fast as I can. We're winding it down. It's getting down to a few sticks of wood, and it'll be all gone. Amen.